Hello, I'm Dana Rice, the founder of blackartseducation.com, and I have a special person that I want to introduce you to today. He is Dev Glover. Dev Glover is a marketing, leadership, and creativity strategist that encourages people to dream and dream big. As a digital entrepreneur, he understands the importance of scaling your dreams. His latest book, Doing Your Dream, will teach you just that. Hi, Dev.
Hey there, Dana. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for your kind invitation to join you and to join your great audience. And I want to give you some affirmation and some love up top for all the great work that you've been doing with your business,
Oh, I'm
your
receiving it.
your book that recently came out a few months back, and now this great platform, Black Arts Education. I just want to really affirm your works and your deeds, and you're an inspiration to our activation. That's what we've been
Oh,
talking about today.
oh, wow. Thank you. See, y'all are going to love him, right? You already know how I do, right? All right. Yes. Thank you so much, Dev.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody, I bring people who I personally know have a major gift and something to offer the world. And this person right here, Dev Glover, has inspired me in so many ways and has helped me along my journey. So, when you receive, it's time for you to give. So I'm sharing
Thank
this
you very
person
much.
with you all. Okay. So don't take it for granted, all right? Get your pen out, get your paper out, because when he talks, it's like amazing things come out and you be like, nah.
All
So I'm telling you right now,
right.
get your pen out, push record, whatever you gotta do, okay? But thankfully for you, this is on a video. You can just replay, right? And
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
comment, right? Make sure you comment so the algorithm loves us. Okay, we're gonna get started. First question I have for you. So in the arts, of course, everyone has big dreams. I mean, that's what the arts are made of. And
Mhm.
which is why, your book titled Doing Your Dream is so profound because it's number one, it's an action. It's not just dreaming,
Right.
it's doing
Right.
your dream,
Doing.
doing
Yes.
your dream. So
Mhm.
I believe it's a great resource for our audience, and I can't wait for them to hear you talk about it. But today we're meeting you as an author and a marketing guru.
Mhm.
But can you tell us about your experience with the arts? What was your entry point?
Well, I think my entry point for me was just my household. I grew up in a household where people had really diverse interests in the arts, especially music. So I grew up listening to people like Mongo Santa Maria, and of course Aretha Franklin, and people like the great opera singer Leontyne Price, and jazz singers, and R&B singers, and pop singers. So nothing was off limits. Everything was there at your disposal. You could put your hands on it and look
Mhm.
at it, touch it, read the liner notes. I mean, I'm dating myself now, but there used to be a thing called liner notes.
Yeah, I love those too. I hope they come back.
I do too. I do too. And then later on that, I took lessons on the clarinet and the saxophone. It was in marching band and concert band. And really within the context of working in groups, that's really where I sort of honed my leadership skills.
Hmm.
I, to this day, from a leadership perspective, I try to make sure that there is no person or no kind of group that I cannot connect with, that I cannot hopefully empower. And that's really sort of the mindset that I come from, that every organization, will it be an organization, will I work with like a Fortune 500 corporation, for a team that is attempting to have better results, better leadership capacity, that kind of thing. And what does that actually look like? And so much of it comes down to self awareness, and that's really what people who work in the arts and around the arts, that's one of their key skill sets, self awareness. You cannot be effective as an artist or a creative person without a high level of self awareness.
Yes, that is a very good point, and I think it's one that people don't often think about when it comes to the lessons and, the beginning stages of being an
Mhm.
artist, because art just doesn't happen. You just don't,
Right.
most people just don't wake up on Broadway. But there's
Exactly.
a journey involved. And,
Absolutely.
when parents are trying to decide, what is worth their investment, uh,
Mhm.
I don't think a lot of times maybe building self-awareness in your child doesn't really, it's not like one of the first things you think about. So,
Right,
uh,
right.
but I'm glad to hear that coming from you, because I mean, even I haven't even thought about it, but it's definitely true that you can't be an effective artist if you don't have a high level of self-awareness. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And especially as it relates to self-awareness in terms of how you relate to other people, how you either inspire someone else to work and collaborate with you, because none of us work in a vacuum by ourselves. At least we're not going to work effectively by ourselves. So there's always going to be the element of a team or teamwork. And there's certain things that are going to really turn somebody on to want to work with you. And there are going to be some really easy things you're going to turn people off.
mm,
You're not going to support you.
right.
And that's the same thing within a corporate setting as well. Those leaders who are really effective, they have a fair amount of self-awareness, and they're sort of aware how they move in the world and how they actually inspire and actually connect with people.
Hmm. All right, that's some good food for thought. So, if you're watching this, know that self-awareness, hey, that's a thing that you can get from
Mhm.
training in the arts, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if you're watching this on YouTube or on our blog, be sure to make a comment. Have you ever thought about self-awareness as it relates to the arts? Is this a new thought for you, or do you have your own experience with this and you can validate what's being said to you right now? So put a comment. Visit us on Instagram or wherever you do stuff. Yeah. Um, I used to have our little Instagram running through. I probably need to find it. But while I'm looking for that, Mr. Glover, um, let's talk about your book. You have two books actually
Yes.
um,
Yes.
that you what am I trying to say? You released earlier this year, right? They come out in
This year, that came out in the spring of this year.
this is the 10-year long year, okay? So it just feels like 2020 is just like forever. But yeah,
Yes.
still
Yes.
here that these books came out, right? Uh, and so the one book is power quotes, right?
Yes.
Bring the power quotes, and
Yes.
I love it because we are in a time where we just can take bite-sized information, and we don't have a lot of time to do, and our attention span is not like forever. So
Exactly.
I love that you're giving us bite-sized things that we can just kind of snack on and
Mhm.
ponder and really apply immediately. So
Absolutely.
there's a section that you have that is called the Fab Five.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us about, because everybody, there's 25 quotes in,
25 quotes. Uh-huh.
yeah. So but we've picked out the top five, right, that you can get started with right away. So
Uh-huh. Mhm.
you say your imagine, this is a countdown, okay?
Okay, great.
Number
Great.
five, your imagination is where you're the most powerful. Talk to me.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Well, to be a creator of any type is to work with your main computer, which is your mind and your imagination. And one of the things I talk about in that section is that that's one of the few places where, depending upon how you use it, there is less noise.
Mm.
You have the responsibility and can create the vision for yourself, the life for yourself, the artistic or creative career for yourself without, at that point, without any feedback from anyone else. You can use your brain to create your own vision. Your imagination is where you're the most powerful because it's a place that you have the most freedom to create.
So my imagination is not something I should be afraid of.
No, not at all. It should be something that
Well,
you nurture through
mm-hmm,
through reading, through I say everyone who is creative. And if you would allow me just to step back for just a second, I
mm-hmm,
want us to define creativity simply as the act of problem solving. Creativity is not something that is abstract. It is not something that's esoteric. It is for anyone. All of us are solving problems in our lives and careers and that kind of thing. So I don't want anyone to think, oh, I'm not creative. I'm not. No, no, we're not doing that. Everyone has the capacity to be creative. Your imagination is where it actually begins, and you nurture your creativity by first of all believing in yourself, believing in something higher, and you nurture your imagination the same way you nurture your brain. You feed it
mm-hmm,
good things, good film, good music, and you also
mm-hmm.
you also feed it good healthy food so your brain can work for you. So
It
it takes a
makes
lot
so much
to make your brain really be empowered.
woo, child. Yes. All right. I ain't gonna even touch that one. We're gonna go on to four. Don't be railed by other people's stuff. Mm,
That's a biggie.
that's
That's
powerful.
that's a biggie. All of us, and it's something that I consistently have to work on. And it is the notion of not giving all of your power away to other people's agendas, because ultimately, when it comes down to it, you're either going to be setting the path and pace for your agenda and vision, or you're going to be subservient and working for somebody else's. There's no in
Mm,
between. You're going to be pushing your agenda forward, or you're going to be working for somebody else's agenda.
all day long. People. Facts
And it's
all
up to
day
us to
long.
decide. Up to us to
Mhm. If you're just joining us, I am here with
decide.
Dallas Glover, and he is the author of two books, Doing Your Dream, The Power Quotes, 25 Quotes for Passion, Power, Purpose, and Profit. And the first book is
Mm,
simply Living Your Dream. You need both of these books, people. Both of them together. Okay. So you don't want to be half stepping, right? So get both of the books.
right, exactly,
If you
exactly.
don't know where to go, you can go to blackartseducation.com and click on our books tab, and it will be there. A link straight away to the Amazon. So we're talking about the Fab Five power quotes. And I started doing a countdown with number five and number four. Now I can't give y'all everything because I need y'all to get the book, right? So, but I do want to ask you, Dev, to touch. Oh yeah, they got to get the book, man. I do want you to touch on number two. The only real talent is the talent of perseverance.
I
Lord,
love I love this one. I love this one because I know this one myself. Um, Especially as it relates to perhaps parents who have kids who are creative or creators. Of course, your child has talent. And of course, you think your child is extraordinary because he or she is. That is a great start. But
hmm,
for your child to actually thrive in a creative environment, which could be school or a performing arts company or a higher place of education, is going to take much more than talent, because your child is talented in your house, on your block, in your community. Yes, he or she is. But the bigger world, there are people equally as talented, if not more so. But it will always consistently come down to the person who has the most grit, the most perseverance. Perseverance trumps talent each and every time.
Mm,
Perseverance. Do you hang in there when everything has fallen apart? When you're making phone calls, you've made 20 phone calls to get the part or to audition. Everybody said no. Will you make the 21st? That type of thing. Will you, through some process, handle your rejection the same way you will handle your success? They are both the same equal imposters. They are
woo, that's
part.
powerful.
They're different sides of the same coin.
Mm,
you're gonna have some of each all the
wow, yeah.
time.
Woo.
and
And
and you know, it's something I had to teach myself. Um, I had to really teach myself to hang in there when what looks like failure is actually the most powerful lesson or group of lessons you may ever receive. What
mhm,
looks like failure is in many cases what's going to set you up for your biggest success.
yes. And for our audience that's watching this, you need to hit rewind, push that play button back a little bit so you can listen to that again because it's very powerful. And, perseverance, just there's nothing like it. And like you say, you have to have it. And right now, everybody's perseverance is being tested. And,
Yes.
so
Yes.
one thing that I hear you saying is that training in the arts trains your perseverance. Do I hear you saying that? Is it training in the arts trains you
Hmm. Every day.
perseverance?
Every day.
Um, and
Absolutely.
putting it in
Hmm.
context
Hmm.
with our current situation being in the COVID pandemic, if we think about it,
Hmm. Hmm.
the first people, workers, and all to be shut down was the entertainment industry. It's the arts. We were the ones
Absolutely.
that had
Absolutely.
to stop what we were doing first because the live, the gathering, and all that. And as this has
Exactly.
continued for months and months, almost the entire year so far, the arts are the
Hmm.
last to come back. And we're
Right.
trying to come back, we're trying to come back. But I think it really speaks to, of course, being an artist, and none of us like, being the first shut down and the last to come back and the least to get help. But
Hmm.
our
Hmm.
training in the arts, because not everybody that's watching this is at the beginning of their arts journey. Some people that are watching, I
Right.
know you've been in it a while, just like me and Dev. And this perseverance
Hmm.
piece is so critical to getting through the rest of this. But we have the tools to do it
Hmm.
because we have our training in the arts. So I just want to encourage
Exactly.
all to to know that we will get through this, and your
Hmm.
training in the arts is probably more valuable than you even ever thought. But this moment right now,
Hmm.
because of the perseverance that is required
Hmm.
and that's already built up in you from your training in the arts, I
Hmm.
think it's just
Hmm.
going to be very powerful. And we're going to see we've already seen some of the most amazing artistic contributions in 2020. There's awesome music
Hmm.
that's going out every day. People are at home writing things. And as we
Right.
emerge, when we eventually emerge from this pandemic, I believe that we're all
Hmm.
going to be even stronger than we thought we could be.
Absolutely. I agree with you totally, Dana. And if there's one thing that I might sort of just throw out, and it's a key element of perseverance. I sort of call it the three P's:
Okay.
perseverance, paper, and pen. When you have goals on paper, 1 year out, 5 years out, beyond, then you don't have to, excuse my very slang, you don't have to trip because you know where you're going no matter what is happening in this current moment. This is just a moment.
It's a
This is
moment.
not the vision, just the moment. So if you have your strategic steps on paper for 1 year out, 5 years out, then you still know where you're going because it's on paper. It has been written down. It is written in the stone. It's real.
If it's written, it's real.
I
That's
did that myself.
if it's written, it's real.
I
That's
did that. It's real.
yes.
It's real. It's real.
Oh yes,
It's
I
real.
see a meme coming up with your face, and if it's written, it's real. Yes, it's gonna be on the blackartseducation.com Instagram page too. So look for that. You know that you heard it first here on this broadcast. So,
Right here. Right here.
Deb,
Right
I
here.
could talk to you all day long because it's just you have so much energy and motivation and
Oh,
encouragement.
thank you.
But I know we've
Oh,
got to
thank
wrap.
you.
So I want to just leave it open if you have any closing comments for everybody before we go.
I would love to invite your audience to visit doingyourdream.com. There are some amazing downloads that you can get there, your personal dream sheet, some other sort of motivational and planning things. And I'd love to share that with your audience. They can simply go there and download it, opt in, download it. And I would say as we wrap up, we are in the last quarter of this year. And of course, as we move into the last quarter, we have things like an election, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, and probably some things I haven't even thought of. But this really is the fourth quarter of our of our play, of our playbook and our playing. So to the extent that we can, let us all sort of encourage each other to stay on track, to stay on task. Block out your time. What are the time blocks to make your goals happen? And how can we delete delete social media that is not empowering to us? There are
Mm-hmm.
tons of people, and the research bears it out. The first thing that people do when they wake up is check a phone.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no.
No.
As a
Hmm.
creator, no, your first line of self time should be for you to connect, to review your goals, to review what is happening, what you want to happen for this day. After you have completely done that, then you can pick up a phone and see if
Mm-hmm.
someone is attempting to that kind of thing. But your first line of defense really has to be your own self care, your own self strategy.
That's a powerful takeaway, everybody. So take care of you before you check to see what other people are going to say to you, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing
thank
with
you, Dana. It's been
this
fun.
Glover, everybody. If you visit blackartseducation.com and subscribe, we have some goodies for you in our virtual swag bag. And Mr. Dev Glover does have something in that virtual swag bag for you. So make sure you subscribe there. And of course, visit doingyourdream.com because you're about to be busy doing your dream, right? Okay, we want to hear about it. Send us comments, and we will chat with you next time at blackartseducation.com.